Eriksson. So here we are in Mallorca, and we're just outside the little village of Esperoles. And we're here to meet with Emelie and Dan Marsh to hear about their unique concept, horses and wine, and how that fits so well together. Let's meet them and hear more about the evolution of this fantastic farm, Ses Rotes. How did you came up with this concept of wine and horses?
We bought the farm, Ses Rotes, to have horses on because of Emelie's background in show jumping. And as the sale progressed and we did a bit more digging, we found out that actually we ended up with more land than was originally on the agreement. And part of that land was the main source of water for the whole finca. And that is a game changer for any fellow farmer. It means that you can do so many other things with the land.
So if you were to explain for somebody that's never ever tried your wines about your style, what would you say?
I think it is really, really simple. It is about easy drinking wine. From May through till sort of September, the climate's very good, it's warm, it gets hotter and hotter July and August, and you want something that you can sit and relax when you're on holiday and drink. So our rosé is always going to be around about 11%. It's an easy drinking, predominantly Cayette rosé, which is a local grape. Then the white is an easy drinking Sauvignon Blanc. It's always between about 12 and 13%. And the red, again, we're going to make two reds. One is around about 12 or 11.5%, which is a Cayette-based red with a little bit of Syrah. And again, that's really easy drinking. And a lot of people actually drink that one slightly chilled. We also make an orange wine, which, again, it moves on to that easy drinking feel.
So Emelie, being then a professional show jumper with horses, breeding horses here, why do you think that the concept with horses and wine fits so well together?
We do really good professional show jumping horses here. We try and breed them obviously, but sometimes we just produce them. We breed warm bloods, and the ones that are born here, obviously they are Mallorcan by birth, but their passport will be with whoever stud book the sire is, so the father of the foal. I have a very strict way of doing it, and somehow this strictness also applies to making wine. You know, you have to do it in combination with feeling a little bit. I don't think you can just follow a set of rules. With animals, you have kind of rule guidance to go after, but actually when it comes to it, you have to also have feeling for what suits.
So the younger horses, it's a great breeding ground for them to grow up, understand some of the basics to do with going to shows, being ridden at shows. And then quite often we will get people that are coming to buy the horses from way outside of here.
Also in Mallorca they have their own federation for show jumping, or for horse sport, shall I say. And so it's actually not just Mallorca, it's also Ibiza and Menorca. And at the moment I am the Balearic champion for this year.
So we were progressing that idea, and the opportunity came about, and we decided that we had so many other buildings that were not being used that we could transform one of them into an actual winery, a bodega, and produce the wine here. For us, it's a fantastic match. Both the wine and the horses work really well together. The land is being used for its purpose from what it was before, and we're really, really happy with it.
Starting off this fantastic concept that you have going here, and planting those hectares of wine, how did you get interested in wine?
My background is in pubs, restaurants and hotels in London, but very much from delivering that service point of view rather than the detail of making wine. But over those years, I've always understood what people want from a glass of wine, or the range of wine that you need in a restaurant. And I always felt within Mallorca there was an opportunity to have far more easy drinking wine. We teamed up with two very important people. One is the person that helps you deliver the actual grapes, the plants, onto the land. And then the second person is to actually make the wine, and that's the analog. So Andreu, who has a fantastic vineyard, Can Majoral, is working with us as our winemaker. We really feel like it's important to involve people that have been born here in the project for us, because they know far more than anyone else that can land here.
The grounds here feels very traditional.
Yeah.
I even saw a stable in a church here.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the story about the different buildings that we see here and the stables you have here.
The main, which is now the main house, is an old watermill with the old aqueduct that goes from Esporles to Palma. That aqueduct goes across our land here, and it's got the highest cultural rating of BIC in Mallorca. And we know the previous owner, he moved here in the 60s, and he transformed the farm into like an Andalusian party place. The inspiration for the labels on with the lady is from that time, that she came here to have a good time. Obviously it's a mix and match with the buildings here. The church is fantastic. That is where I have my horses now.
When you pick up a finca this sort of size that has been used for so many different things over the years, when you chip away at things, you find all sorts of stories that you don't quite know what that building was used for in the past, and then you make up your own. But it's quite interesting.
And what we've built extra here, buildings now, they're new, is we've built a roof to ride under. And so it's not like an indoor school, essentially, because it hasn't got walls, but we only did it for the shade of it. And I thought it would prolong my riding days by 2 or 3 hours. But actually it made it possible for us to ride all day long. And then we have also got a horse walker, which is the only oval one in Spain. So that's to exercise the horses. At the moment we have 30-ish horses. We have 21 stables, but then some of the ponies and retired horses, they live outside and they don't come in.
With regard to the project that we've developed over the last 5 years, I think one of the most important things for us was to make sure that we were really sympathetic to the past and retain as much as we can from the past within the parameters of a lot of the building regulations. We've taken the doors from the main restaurant, the quadruple doors. They are now the doors of our winery. So we've pulled as much of the past into what is now going to be the future for the vineyard and for Ses Rotes.
In a fairly short time, 4 years now, you have created now 5 labels from the wineries here. I'm just wondering which is number 6.
I think the range that we have and the range that I explained is pretty much what we're going to do. The year before last, we tried just a little experiment which was to do with making a white wine from the Cayette, which was really interesting. So I think there's an opportunity to continue the feel of this easy drinking wine. Big area for development for us is this wine club, or the Ses Rotes community. And as a member, you receive some wine, you get invited to regular events on the vineyard, you are invited to come and work with us and learn more about wine, and then we do pop-up events with the restaurants that sell our wine.
You got a fantastic premises here with lots of potential, I can see. What's in the future, which in the crystal ball?
It's a possibility that with the wine community that we'll be able to do like a music event inside underneath the roof for the indoor school.
Yeah.
So we want to promote local artists to come down and do art shows for a couple of weeks in the summer.
Yeah, we've got a very interesting space, which was the disco, that Emelie has designed to be as open as possible, great light, so it's ideal for an artist to have a gallery or a resident artist for periods of time in the year. So I think it's not just wine, it's not just horses, there's other opportunities to use this fantastic space.
If you were to give an advice to a young person that wants to create a winery like yourselves, what would you say?
Have a plan, be able to deviate from the plan.
Don't be afraid to work. It's got the week has 7 days in it, and they will be the days that you will be working, but it'll be worth it.
So let's have a sip of that wine that you talked about, and I like to see you then get on the horses.
I love horses.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes. Wow.